Peace and love, everybody. Welcome to the Plant Pusher podcast. My name is Nicolo Massa. I'm on a mission to promote the plant-based lifestyle worldwide so we can help our communities to heal, to protect animals, and to restore our beautiful planet. Now, again, this is the very first episode of the Plant Pusher podcast, and I'm going to cue the intro real fast.
Welcome to the Plant Pusher podcast with Nicolo Massa. We're on a mission to bring people back to the garden. Let's go back to the garden.
There we go. That's the vibe. I'm looking to create that Caribbean. Let's go back to the garden. Earth is paradise. Earth is Eden. The Garden of Eden. Let's go back to the Garden of Eden. Let's go back to eating healing foods. Let's go back to taking care of the earth. And let's go back to taking care of animals. So again, my name is Nicolo Massa. My business is Plant Pusher. I'm on a mission to promote the plant-based lifestyle worldwide so we can help our communities to heal, to protect animals, and restore our beautiful planet. And I call that the garden, like returning to the Garden of Eden. So I want to give you a quick backstory on why I started Plant Pusher. Why did Plant Pusher get created? Now, I've been vegan for 5 years as of the day before Thanksgiving 2020, right? So I'm going into my 5th year vegan. I'm in my 5th year vegan. What have I learned along the way? Why did I even choose this lifestyle? Why is it something that I thought that would be a good fit for me? And how have I stuck with it for 5 years? And how am I happier and healthier and just in a much better place now than I've ever been before? So I'm going to give you a quick backstory. I'm going to throw it back back to my childhood for really how this all started, right? So when I was born sick. I had a very weak immune system. I was constantly getting sinus infections, ear infections. I was having a lot of stomach problems. And so my parents took me to every doctor that would see a sick baby. And every single doctor after doctor, put me on prescription after prescription after prescription. And by the time I was 5 years old, I was on over 100 antibiotics. And it crushed my immune system. It got to the point where I was so sick, my fever got so high that I started having seizures, right? And my parents were terrified. I'm the first son, I'm the only boy. So they're like, what's going on? They're trying everything. They're taking me to every doctor. They're paying all these co-pays. They're taking me to all these different pharmacies to get all this different medicine. And I'm on all these prescriptions, but I'm not getting any healthier. I'm actually getting sicker. And I'm getting sicker to the point where I'm having seizures. My fever is over 104 degrees. They're panicking, not even sure if I'm going to stay alive. And they're down praying to God, please tell us what to do. And they met a woman, and it was like a woman that my mom didn't even know who she was, but she met this woman, and they started talking about me and really where my health was. And the woman said, you should leave Western medicine and you should go give natural medicine a try. Right. And that was the first time my mother had ever heard of natural medicine. The whole concept of leaving the doctors and leaving what's common and going towards this natural remedy. It was foreign from my family. It was not something that we were very accustomed to. Right. But my parents had tried everything in the Western medicine, pill pushers. And it got to a point where they couldn't find answers. So they had to take me out of that system. They had to take me out of the system that kept prescribing me pill after pill after pill. And what's crazy is, and I used to get really pissed off at this, and I'm still very driven because of this. But if you think about it, it's like there was a doctor that saw a sick 4-year-old child that had been on over 70 antibiotics and kept prescribing pills. So at some point there had to be a doctor that realized that the system wasn't working, but that's all they were trained to do. So they kept doing the same thing. They kept doing more of the same. Peace, Teal. Happy New Year to you as well. Peace and love to everybody that's on the podcast. I appreciate y'all. This is the Plant Pusher podcast. So to get back into it. So my parents took me out of Western medicine and took me to a natural medicine doctor that was all the way up in New Jersey. Now, my family's here in Baltimore, Maryland. So a drive to New Jersey just to see a doctor is a hike. It's a 5 to 6 hour drive. So my mother took me all the way to New Jersey. Doctor, very expensive. Took me to this doctor. And on the very first visit, that doctor took me off of all the prescriptions. That doctor took me off of all of the antibiotics, and he started to work on my diet and my lifestyle. Very first thing, he took me off of all dairy. He took me off of all my pharmaceutical medicine, all my prescriptions, all dairy, all sugar, all processed foods, anything with dyes and syrups, anything that when you look at the back of it, it looks like a chemical science experiment. He took me off of all of that. Right? And told my mother to feed me more fruits and vegetables and started feeding me more natural foods. And within a couple of weeks, I started to bounce back. Within a couple of weeks, I started to find health, and I was able to enjoy my childhood as a happy, healthy little kid. So fast forward to when I was in my teenage years. Yes, show love, y'all. Throw them hearts, show love. This is something that, I haven't shared with you up until this point. I'm very happy. And that's why I started my brand, Plant Pusher, right? And we're getting to this. We're making the progression towards Plant Pusher and how it got started and really what we're doing out in the community. So, I'm this sick child on over 100 antibiotics before I'm 5 years old. My parents took me to every doctor that would see a sick baby. Nothing worked. They took me out of that Western medical system and Western medicine system and brought me to natural medicine. And on my very first visit, that natural doctor took me off all of my prescriptions and had my parents focus on diet and lifestyle, eating real food and leaving all the bullshit to the side, right? Now, here's what's crazy. I stayed on that regimen for years, eating weird food as I saw it as a kid, right? I know a little kid who's 8, 9, 10, 11 years old wants to be eating these weird foods, right? You want to be eating everything that everybody else was eating on, right? And so by the time I got to high school, I'm like, man, I'm done eating all that weird food. I want to go back to eating the food that everybody else is eating. So I started eating fast food again. I started eating pizza and cheese and lots of dairy. I started eating lots of processed food. And what's crazy is I started getting sick again. I had to go get allergy shots. It got to the point where I had to go get allergy shots every single week. I was on these allergy pills and I had asthma, like it came out of nowhere, allergy induced asthma. I couldn't breathe. I'm getting sick. I'm going to the doctor and getting 20, 30 allergy shots injected into me to see what I'm allergic to. And it was really bad. I got sick my entire teenage years. I was constantly going to the doctor. Now, fast forward to 2015, I'm in Sicily visiting my family. And 6 weeks on top of a mountain gave me a lot of time to think. So I was meditating a lot and I was really going inside and I was really like getting my mindset right. And I found a stray dog while I was out in Sicily and I brought that stray dog in. I started taking care of her. It was in that time that I fell in love with this dog and realized that, wow, my actions can decide whether this dog stays alive or if this dog dies. And so I brought this dog in. I got her all of her medicine, I got her all of her shots so she could come back to the United States. I was feeding her. I was getting her vet visits. I was making sure that she was taken care of. I got her a passport, right? Her medical bills were so expensive and getting her from Sicily to the United States was so expensive that I ran out of money. I was only 21 at the time. I had spent 6 weeks overseas and now I find this wild dog and, all of her medical bills were extremely expensive. So I put up a GoFundMe page to pay for her flight over, and I left it up to God. I said, God, if this GoFundMe gets funded, I'm bringing her home with me. If it doesn't get funded, I'm going to find her a loving family here in Sicily, and she's going to stay here. But I'm not putting her back out in the streets because I love this dog. Well, I put out the GoFundMe page, and within 24 hours, the entire $1,800 for her medical bills, her shots, and her flight got funded, and I was able to bring her back to the United States. And I decided right at that moment, I said, I'm never eating meat again. I'm never eating animal products again. I had watched a couple Netflix documentaries, Earthlings and What the Health and Cowspiracy, and I'm like, actually, What the Health wasn't out at that time. It was Cowspiracy and then Earthlings. And I'm like, not only do I love this dog, and God's blessed me to bring this dog back from Sicily back to the United States, but I now see that I see the look in animals' eyes the same way I see this love in my dog's eyes. So if I wouldn't eat my dog, I'm not going to eat these animals. I decided to go vegan, right? Came back to the United States. I'm all energized. I'm back on U.S. soil. I'm back in my normal environment. And Thanksgiving was the very next day. Thankfully, my family was very welcoming and very open to the idea that I was going vegan. And my mother cooked a lot of vegetables. My whole family was like, man, this isn't going to last long. Nicolo, this is just a phase. Like everybody in my family, we're Sicilian. So we eat a lot of meat. We ate a lot of meat. We ate a lot of cheese. We eat a lot of animal products. That seems to be the common trend in a lot of cultures, right? To eat really shitty diet, right? But then if you look at it, the same diseases passed down in your family tree because you're eating the same foods that your ancestors ate, right? And so that's by design. That's no coincidence. So my family's like, you're not going to stay vegan, blah, 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 right? Well, here I am 5 years strong. I'm 5 years vegan. And, my business has been promoting vegan businesses. Like I had a marketing background. And when I went vegan, I'm like, man, I want to bring my marketing skill set to the vegan industry. And so I started working with juice bars, started working with vegan restaurants. I was a cameraman. I was really good with filming and photography. And so I started picking up vegan festivals. And I was traveling the United States, filming vegan, and Canada, filming vegan festivals. Some, a couple hundred people large, some all the way up to 30,000 people large, right? So I started filming vegan festivals, and every one of these vegan festivals, I'm seeing hundreds of vendors all serving different kinds of vegan food. I'm like, man, if people could only see this lifestyle, if people that were considering vegan could only see how amazing this lifestyle is, it would be no question. If people could see this food, it would be no question. So I started doing photos and videos, really pumping these photos and videos of what this vegan food looks like and getting it in front of millions of people through these festivals and through my customers that I've been working with, and over the last 5 years, I've helped my customers to serve over 1 million vegan meals through their restaurants, their vegan restaurants or their juice bars, right? And so I'm like, cool, this is my business. I'm going to keep scaling this up. Well, when coronavirus hit, I'll never forget it. It was March 16th. I was filming a conference up in, Catherine said, good for you, lovely, 4 years for me. Amazing. Congratulations. So March 16th, I never forget it. March 16th, 2020. I'm up in Pennsylvania filming a huge national conference, and I see it on the news, right? And at this point, I'm sending out all my invoices. I'm booking all my festivals around the country for 2020, right? I got contracts going all over the country. I'm like, man, this is about to be a really good year. Well, I'm watching on the news as they're saying that we're having national shutdowns. And it was like I'll never forget this moment. It was like a ripple effect. I started getting emails from all of my festival customers that I had sent invoices out to, that all of the festivals nationwide in Canada and in the United States, like a domino effect, every single festival got canceled. Like, we're talking a lot of money in festival contracts canceled immediately. And that threw me back. Like, I'm like, holy crap, like, what is my business going to be? Like, I was looking forward to a great year in 2020. Now, it seems like everything that I've been working so hard to build, it just got pulled out from under my feet. Well, I'm not going to lie, it got me a little depressed for a couple months. Like, for 2 months, I'm like, man, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know how I'm going to serve the vegan industry. I know I have such an amazing gift, but I don't know how I'm going to serve my people. I don't know how I'm going to continue to make a positive impact in this world and help people to transition into this lifestyle so they can find healing. Right? And so I took a step back for 2 months, and I went back to the drawing board. Spent a lot of time going within myself, spending a lot of time meditating. And I'm like, man, what is it going to be for me? What is this thing that I'm going to do in this new world, in the coronavirus world? And so I started thinking about my childhood. I'm like, man, God has got to be setting me up for something here. I got to look back at my journey. Where have I been up until now? Because that will tell me where I'm going. That saying, if any of you out there watching this live or listening to the podcast, that saying hindsight is 2020. Like, we may not know where we're going, 100% moving forward. But when we look back, it's like, man, that really makes a lot of sense that happened, and then that happened, and then this happened, and then that happened. And you really start having a lot more confidence in yourself and in your journey, and that God is looking out for you, and that, whether you call it God or the universe or Allah, Buddha, whatever, we're all talking about the same thing. We're all talking about, that this life force that guides us and gives us life, right? So I'm like, there's got to be something playing out here. And so I said, okay, well, my childhood story, boom, boom, boom. I actually applied at the time to be in a speaker's boot camp with Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher. He's been, a mentor for me for about 7 years. And so I joined his speaker boot camp, and they said, tell your story. And so I'm telling my story about, the 500 antibiotics before I was 5 years old. And I'm like, man, the pill pushers, like, I had to get away from the pill pushers. And then this natural doctor took me off all this medicine and started having my mother feed me more plants, more fruits and more vegetables, more natural foods. I'm like, the word plant pusher hit me. And I'm like, whoa, I got it. I'm going to write a book, and I'm showing everybody live on a podcast right now. I'm going to write a book called Plant Pusher, and I'm going to help vegan restaurants and vegan businesses all over the country. This is a 250-page book. I'm going to help vegan businesses all over the country to grow during this coronavirus pandemic. So I put out this book called, I have everything ready to go. I'm ready to launch this book called Plant Pusher. And I'm like, something inside of me is telling me that this title, Plant Pusher, is way bigger than a book. Something's telling me that this is way bigger than a book. This needs to be a movement. Something's telling me that Plant Pusher is going to be a lifestyle, that it's going to be people motivated and inspired to bring healing to their community. Something's telling me that Plant Pusher is going to be a movement, that people are walking away from the pharmacies and going back to the farms, that people are walking away from all these allergy shots and all these pills and being stuck on all of this medicine, and they're going back to food. They're going back to food and herbs and lifestyle as their medicine. Something was telling me that Plant Pusher was bigger than a book, and it was a movement. Something was telling me that Plant Pusher was something that was going to sweep the globe and help millions of people to heal and save millions of animals, and we're going to restore this planet. Plant Pusher's a movement. It was bigger than a book. So I found a couple, had a couple friends that knew a lot of graphic designers, and I'm like, man, I got to get this thing Plant Pusher done into a logo. So I get this logo for Plant Pusher done. I send my ideas, right? And my background is I've always wanted to be Tarzan since I was just a little kid, right? I've lived in Costa Rica. I've lived in the jungle. I've called, my nickname is Jungle Man. Before I was Plant Pusher, my nickname has been Jungle Man. So I'm like, I want this logo to be more than just vegan or like eating plants. Like I want it to be like, let's go back to like this tropical nature paradise. Like let's go back to the Garden of Eden where people were eating plants and people were taking care of animals, and we lived in this beautiful natural world that was perfect and amazing. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to this garden lifestyle. Let's go back to the garden. So I'm like, man, I want this logo to look like I'm in the tropical jungle and there's fruits and it's just like tropical vibe, right? And this brother sends me back this logo. Check this thing out. He sends me this logo. I'm like, man, you got to be kidding me. Like, I see this logo everywhere. I see this logo on t-shirts. I want to wear this on my t-shirt. I see this logo all over the world. I see this as a podcast. Like, immediately, as soon as I saw my vision of what this logo was going to be come to life, I'm like, man, I got to get this logo everywhere. And so I reached out and I'm like, all right, we're going to put this on t-shirts, but, I don't want to just have a t-shirt business. I was very inspired by the company Tom's at the time, right? So I'm like, Tom's, they buy a pair of shoes, they give a pair of shoes to a child in need. I'm like, man, how can I work that social element into this business? How can I work that social element into this brand? How can I create a movement of people who identify as plant pushers? And when they say I'm a plant pusher, and we create this lifestyle around helping our communities to heal, protecting animals and restoring our planet. And the shirts are going to look amazing and sexy and on the best material that I can find. How can I create, all of that is amazing, right? But how can I weave in an element of giving back to my community as I grow? Because, a lot of times people will start these businesses and they'll start these things and they say, okay, when I make it, when I get rich, when I do X, Y, and Z, then I'll give back. Well, the thing here is, and the sobering truth is, we don't know if we're going to live that long. We don't know. Every day is a blessing. Every breath is a blessing. Show me some love on this video. Throw some hearts. Throw a like on this video wherever you're watching it. Share it out. Leave a 5-star review on this podcast if this is hitting and resonating with you. So I'm thinking to myself, like, how can I give back? Because no day is promised. So how can I make an impact as this thing grows? How can I make an impact in my community as I go? So I had a friend at the time that was selling t-shirts, and so every shirt he sold, he fed somebody. I'm like, man, I love that concept. I want to work that into my brand too. I want to sell a shirt and feed somebody a free vegan meal off of every shirt sale. I got it. So my mission, Plant Pusher, stems back from when I was a child, right? 100 antibiotics before I was 5 years old. My fever got so high that I started having seizures, and my parents and my doctors, all that, they didn't know what to do, and they were afraid that I was going to die as a child. I'm my parents' only son, and in a Sicilian family, your son is it's a prized possession because he carries your name to the next generation. Sicilians really, really value their sons and their daughters too, but having a son is special, very special, and having your only son and him being very sick as a child, like it's a red flag. Like my parents did anything they could to get me to bounce back. So after going through all of that and seeing my progression of getting sick again in my teenage years and then going vegan and haven't been sick since I went vegan, and now I'm on this process of seeing how amazing this lifestyle is, and I'm traveling all around the country, all around North America, promoting this lifestyle and working with the most amazing vegan brands. Like, this is amazing. I need to work an element in to give back because people need to realize how amazing this is. So I'm like, all right, Plant Pusher. This has been it seems like this has been like written in the stars for me since I was a child. And it has been. So Plant Pusher, we're on a mission to promote the plant-based lifestyle worldwide so we can help our communities to heal, to protect animals, and to restore our beautiful planet. Okay. And off of every shirt sale, we're going to feed somebody. So we're not only just saying that that's our mission, but every shirt sold, we're going to feed somebody. And I'm so proud to announce that up until today is Sunday, January 3rd, 2021. Up until today, we fed over 1,280 free vegan meals to our community here in Baltimore and up through into Philadelphia, free vegan meals. And we're not talking about a peanut butter and jelly, even though if I was hungry out on the streets, which I've been homeless twice, I've lived in my car on 2 different occasions. So this mission really resonates with me. It really hits me in my heart. And going out and feeding people and realizing that and making them feel like they are valuable and they are seen and they're not forgotten and that they can get up off of the streets and they can get their life together. That is so inspiring, so humbling, and it's so fulfilling, right? So we haven't just been feeding peanut butter and jellies out there on the streets. Every shirt sale has been buying a vegan meal from a local vegan restaurant. So we're not only supporting our communities and bringing healing foods into our communities to people who can't afford this food when they're living on the streets, but they deserve it. And we're going to the people that are making our plant pushers, right? We're going to our plant pushers to supply the meals. So it's just been such an amazing journey. And now I'm like, man, I got to get this word out. God gave me the gift to be a speaker, to speak and to inspire, to communicate a message powerfully and effectively. Like, I got to do a podcast. I got to get this out into the world. So this is the Plant Pusher podcast. And I'm on a mission to do this every single day with y'all right here on Facebook Live, YouTube, and then I'm going to take it and put it on YouTube and on podcasts. I want to do this every single day at 7 p.m. because when I was transitioning into the vegan lifestyle, it was a guessing game for me. Now, there was a lot of documentaries out there, and as y'all know right now, you can go to YouTube and you can get lost in a sea of YouTube videos. Here's the problem with that. You might find somebody who, looks good on Instagram or on YouTube and you're following their page and you're like, man, I think this vegan thing can work for me, right? I think this vegan thing can work for me. And you start, hold on, let me get a seat real quick. Let me take a little seat real fast. All right. Get a little closer to this mic. So you might be thinking to yourself this vegan thing, I feel like it can work for me, but I really don't know how to do it. And so you start finding people on social media. You start finding people on YouTube that make content to help you go vegan. The problem is you don't even know if these people know how to cook. I mean, let's be real. You don't even know if these people know how to cook. So you're going through all this process, you're going through all this trouble to be able to find something vegan, and you have your family in one ear, you have your spouse or your kids in the other ear, and you're trying to go vegan or plant-based, and you have so much against you, and you're leaning on this video and you're relying on this video on YouTube or this recipe video to help get you through and help teach you vegan and help teach you how to get, transition into this healing lifestyle. And that recipe was terrible and you just had a bad experience. So my mission is to help guide you through this Plant Pusher podcast. I'm going to use my experience. I've been vegan for 5 years. I've been on set for a big vegan documentary that's getting ready to drop here in 2021 called They're Trying to Kill Us. It's about food deserts and how our food systems are set up against us, that we don't have access to healing food. Why does a salad cost more than a Diet Coke? Why does a salad cost more than a burger and French fries and a Coke that's set up on purpose, that's designed on purpose? Why do we have a pharmacy on every corner, but we don't have any fruit stands? That's all set up and designed on purpose. And so I've been on set for vegan documentaries that are going to shake the world. I've traveled and been to the biggest vegan festivals. I work with the biggest vegan brands. I'm friends with the biggest vegan influencers. They know me personally, and I know them personally. So I'm a pretty good cook myself. So I have probably one of the best, most holistic look and talk about my whole journey with my medical and my health, my health journey. So looking at it from the health perspective as well. And I have the best, in my opinion, I have the best grasp on the vegan industry, on the plant-based industry, on helping you transition into a healing lifestyle, to plant-based lifestyle. And so what this podcast is designed to do is it's here to help you along the way. I'm here as a resource for you. So as you transition into this plant-based vegan lifestyle, as you transition away from the food that's making you sick and the pharmacies that are keeping you sick, and you want to transition into a healing lifestyle and help break generational curses of diseases that have been plaguing your family for generations, and you want to create a new legacy for your family and how your family moves and operates, I want to be here for you as that resource. And I'm going to plug and play, and I'm going to guide you, and I'm going to direct you, and I'm going to be here for questions, and I'm going to be here as a support system, and I'm going to introduce you to different things that are going to help you along your way and along your path. And I'm going to be interviewing the best vegan influencers and the best vegan entrepreneurs and restaurateurs, and the people that are the best chefs, and the people that are just amazing people all around, environmentalists, people that are focused on animal welfare. Like, I'm going to bring you everything that you need to thrive and to win on a plant-based lifestyle here on this podcast. So definitely tune in. If you're on Facebook Live, definitely like this page and make sure that you tune in every day at 7 p.m. because I'm going live every single day. If you're on YouTube, go follow me. It's Nicolo Massa Plant Pusher. That's my name on YouTube, Nicolo Massa Plant Pusher. On Instagram at Nicolo Massa Live. Excuse me. On Instagram at Nicolo Massa Live and at Plant Pusher. All right, those are all my social channels. And in a couple days here, I'm going to have my website up to where I have a free course called How to Go Vegan, where I go through and I create my own videos, and I go through and I find all the best resources, all the best free videos on the internet that are going to solve all the problems that you're going to run into as you transition into a plant-based vegan lifestyle. I've helped hundreds of thousands of people transition into this lifestyle through all of my customers and helping them to attract customers into their vegan restaurant. I know what your problems are. I know what the things, the roadblocks and the hurdles that you're going to run into. I've run into them myself, and I've helped a lot of people to overcome them as well. So I'm going to help you with this course called How to Go Vegan. It's a free course. I'm going to go through and I'm going to find out all of the speed bumps and all the roadblocks that you're going to hit. And then I'm going to go, I have all the videos that I've used and have helped me and my friends and my family to overcome those issues and to overcome those roadblocks. And I'm putting all that into a course for free. All you got to do is go to my website. It's not live right now, so in the next couple of days it will be. But all you do is you go there, you put in your email address so we can stay in contact, and I'm going to send you this free course so you don't have to play this guessing game. You don't have to play this guessing game. You don't have to get lost in a sea of never-ending YouTube videos. I'm going to help you find out exactly what you need to win. I'm going to help you and your family find out exactly what you need to thrive on this plant-based vegan lifestyle, how you can help your family and your communities to heal, how you can protect animals, and how you can personally make an impact on the world no matter where you are in the world. So that's the mission here. The plant-based lifestyle, man. It's incredible. It's helped me in so many ways. And again, we have everything we need to succeed. We have everything that we need to win. We just got to change up our mindset. We got to change what's between our two ears. We got to change our perspective and how we look at things, because we were taught how to live a certain way by society, and society has made a certain lifestyle very normal and very common and very practical and very accessible. But the problem is that all of these things that are very convenient and very practical and very accessible, all these convenience stores, you're not going to find any healing food. These pharmacies are not going to deliver you real medicine. They're just going to save your ass when you get really sick because of your diet and your lifestyle, right? The pharmacies are not going to save you. They're just going to keep you in the state that you're in. They're not going to heal you. They're just going to keep you in the state that you're in. And people say to me all the time, they're like, well, what if the pharmaceutical medicine helps you live longer? Okay, what if it does? But what is your quality of life in living longer? Are you living longer with diseases that you can cure and you can reverse, and chronic illnesses that you can reverse? What's the point of living with that for 30 years if you can reverse it? All because you want to keep eating the same food? Well, here's the thing, man. Not only are you doing that for yourself, sis, bro, yeah, you can keep eating the same foods that you want to eat and keep taking the pharmaceutical medicines and the prescriptions because they keep you right and they keep you alive. But here's the thing. You're teaching your family and your kids to eat the same way. And you're going to be passing on all of those patterns and all those habits and all of those illnesses that you have to the rest of your family, because you are an example. People don't listen to what you say. They watch what you do. So if you're telling your family and friends, oh, we need to get healthy, we need to do this, but they see you smacking down fried chicken, they see you in that fast food drive-thru all the time, they see you smoking like crazy, they see you doing all this wild shit, they're going to follow what you do. So the best thing to do is to start with yourself. The best thing that we can do for our families and for our communities to start with ourselves and to start healing ourselves first. And so this Plant Pusher podcast is designed to help walk with you every step of the way as you transition from what's been taught to us, what's been common, what's made practical and normal, and what's taught to us as being the right way to live and the right way to eat. But we have all these illnesses and we know that there's something better out there. I'm going to help you transition from being sick and eating fast food and wondering how you're going to get up out of that. And I'm going to help you transition into a plant-based vegan lifestyle so you and your family can thrive, so you and your family can heal, and so we can really make a positive impact in this world, one meal at a time, one day at a time, one breath at a time. So again, my name is Nicolo Massa. This is the Plant Pusher Podcast. We're on a mission to promote the plant-based lifestyle worldwide so we can help our communities to heal, to protect animals, and to restore our beautiful planet. I'm so honored and so blessed to be able to bring you this message. I'm so honored and so blessed to be in the position that I am to be able to communicate this message to you because, again, we don't know how long we're going to be alive, but while we are alive, we can make a positive impact in our lives, in our families' lives, in our community, and in the world. And if we all do that, this world is going to be a totally different place. So again, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Definitely go. If you want to buy these Superfly Plant Pusher shirts, you can go to www.plantpusher.life. Follow me on Instagram at Plant Pusher and be on the lookout every day at 7 p.m. I'm going to be going live on this Facebook channel and then putting the replay on YouTube and podcast every day at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to be moving to California in a couple weeks. So I'm going to keep the 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time steady because I want to keep y'all on the same page. Every day at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be going live and we're going to be doing the Plant Pusher Podcast. It's an amazing resource for y'all, so definitely stay tuned and buckle up. And if you have any questions, leave a comment on this video. I'm going to respond to as many as I can. And that's it. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. No matter where you are in the world, no matter where you are in your life right now, just know that I love you. I appreciate you. I'm here to help you and to support you. And you can do this, man. Everything you can do this, brother. You can do this, sister. Everything that we need can be found in nature. Love is the answer. We got everything we need. We just got to tap in. We got to go back to the garden. So let's go back to the garden. I love y'all. Peace.
Welcome to the Plant Pusher Podcast with Nicolo Massa. We're on a mission to bring people back to the garden. Let's go back to the garden.